Hey everyone. This example is basically how to use delegates, and it's like in a practical way how .NET library is designed, and they are using delegates, but we don't realize it. The one built-in example that I want to give you is basically of string comparison, ignoring the case. So normally, if you have string my name and you add a name John, and we can name it as John, it will be easy. And string Mary and string another John, and here I'll write John all in lowercase letters. So I'll teach you, basically we don't need Mary, we are happy with John. uh, so in C# in .NET, they have overridden the equals to operator in string class, so we don't have to use the dot equals method to compare two strings. Normally, if you compare any two objects, as string is an object type, what you do is basically you use dot equals method to check the values of those objects. But in C# they have overridden equals to operator, because normally in case of references, equals to operators check for references, whether they point to the same reference rather than the value. They can have the same value, but if they are of basically they're pointing to two different references, the strings will not be equal. But uh, dot equals method basically in reality checks for the value. So if you have your custom object, then what you will be doing is you will be overriding dot toString method of that class, because or you will be overriding some inbuilt .NET methods that helps us to compare two objects. But in this case we are using a simple string example where we want to compare two strings uh, which are having the same value, but the casing is different. One has J as uppercase and another one has J as lowercase. So let's start. So if I do console dot write line and I do John equals to another John, and let's run this program. So it says false, and you must be thinking, oh, John and John, it's just a difference of a capitalization, but how it can be false? It should be true. So they compare everything. So J has a capital J has a different value in a computer, and a small j has a different value. So that's why it's false. Another way, so the best or we can do is go to lower on both for safety. If by chance someone comes here and do something like this, it should still be same. So now it comes out to be true, because it's converting all the letters of that string to lowercase and then comparing. But in professional software development, doing too lower on every string comparison can basically degrade the performance of app, whether it's a desktop, web, or a mobile app. So it's not considered as a good thing to do. And where I was working, basically I'm working at that place right now, not was working. They did a lot of two lower, and then we had a task to convert all two lowers to follow some other approach so we can improve the performance. It is a slight increase, not noticeable in normal situations, but if there are so many string comparisons happening, like 10,000 string comparison happening in a loop, then it can affect the performance definitely. So the way that C# or .NET library provides you is you do John, take one object, equals, and see, it takes an object. It has different overrides. See, it has string A, string B, and all that. So what we will be using is this one, which takes a value and a string comparison type. So string comparison type is kind of basically a delegate. So if we do John equals to another John, this will again be false. Yeah, so it will again be false because it's comparing each character of it. So what we can do is string comparison. So you see all these options: string comparison, ordinal, string comparison, culture, current culture, invariant culture. So these are basically different types of comparisons you can do between two strings. Culture is basically the kind of language, and it's a complex thing to explain in this video. I might do another video because I also need to revise all these things. I don't have all these things in top of my head. So the normal thing that we will use will be ordinal ignore case. So it will ignore the casing, whether they are uppercase or lowercase. It will treat them as all same cases, small j equals to capital J. So we'll do this. So if we run the program, it gives us true. So this is one example of delegates, and I'm cutting this video here because I think it's going too long, and this is an inbuilt .NET example. In the next video we will create our own class which will store a list of numbers, and we will do sorting, and we can get sorting in ascending order or descending order based on what kind of method we pass. So yeah, basically here this ordinal ignore case is a kind of method that we are passing. So we pass this method and it sees, oh, we got a method here and we have to compare. So it uses that method to compare two strings. So it's an implementation of comparing two strings without taking their case in mind. So yeah, in the next example we will basically create our own class and use delegates. And I'll tell you what delegates are a little bit there, and as we progress we will use more examples, and I will find good examples for you to create your own delegates and use in your programs. So that will be one of the basic examples, which is a real world example, not a dummy example as other courses or books have. So yeah, this is one of the examples that how we pass a method as the parameter in and to another method, and that another method utilizes that passed method or delegate to do some work according to the situation or according to the method it's passed, and user gets the appropriate output. So here we are passing them and we are telling them to not compare, not worry about the uppercase and lowercase, just tell us whether all the characters are same. J is J, O is O, H is N, H, and N is N. So yeah, so that's the basic example, and I'll meet you in the next video.